Paris, the city of love, baguettes, and apparently the perfect real estate deal. Welcome back, folks! Today we're diving into the mind-bending con of Victor Lustig, the man who sold the Eiffel Tower. Yes, you heard that right, sold. The Eiffel Tower. Buckle up, because this story has more twists than a pretzel stand on Bastille Day. So picture it, the roaring 20s. Flappers and fringe, jazz so hot it practically melted your gramophone needle, and an economy as stable as Anacycle on a tightrope. Enter Victor Lustig, master con artist, smooth talker, and certified Eiffel impresario. Born Alphonse Victor Lustig in 1890 in Bohemia, today's Czech Republic, he was the kid who learned early that reality is just what you can convince people it is. Kind of like convincing your parents that pizza counts as a vegetable. Young Victor emigrated to the United States, sharpened his skills running fake gambling dens and bouncy loan shark setups, then crossed back to Europe when the heat got too hot. By 1925, the Eiffel Tower was looking, let's say, a bit crusty. Rust forming faster than selfies at the summit. The French government fretted over maintenance costs, annual upkeep that could buy you a small fleet of croissants every morning. Lustig smelled opportunity. He concocted a scheme more audacious than wearing white shoes after Labor Day. He forged official Ministry of Posts and Telegraph's letterheads so impeccably that even the paper fibers felt important. Then he posed as a high-ranking official, summoned 6 of Paris's top scrap metal dealers to a swanky apartment on the left bank, and whispered about a hush-hush plan to dismantle and sell the tower for scrap. He warned them about leaks. If word gets out, the press will have a field day and the deal's off, playing the paranoia card like a pro. It was less an auction and more an underground VIP party, except the VIPs didn't realize they were paying for tickets until it was too late. The bids soared faster than your dopamine when you hit buy on your 100th online shopping cart. One poor sap, André Poisson, whose last name fittingly means fish, and boy was he hooked, offered $70,000 in cold, crispy bills. That's over $1 million in today's money. André probably thought he was getting the deal of the century. Instead, he was getting scammed by the century's biggest troll. After swiping the cash, Lustig excused himself with a curt "Au revoir, Monsieur Poisson," and vanished into the Parisian fog, leaving behind 6 furious dealers and a citywide collective facepalm. Poisson, realizing he'd been played like a violin, reported it to the authorities. But by then, Lustig was already sipping schnapps in Vienna, spending his ill-gotten gains like a man who found out paper money was more fun than metal. In Austria, Lustig didn't slow down. He sold small towns on state-of-the-art morgues, complete with elaborate fake blueprints, and convinced gullible investors that his machines could duplicate banknotes. Imagine pitching a money-making machine, the ultimate paper jam. One poor businessman shipped Lustig's contraption to his estate, only to discover it was a hollow box with tubes and blinking lights. Surprise? It didn't spit out cash, just a confession that they'd been duped. Despite pulling off scams from Paris to Prague, Lustig's luck finally ran out in 1930. In New York, he tried the classic money-printing hustle on a well-connected mark who turned out to be an undercover agent. The Fed swooped in, and Lustig was sentenced to 20 years in Sing Sing prison. He served 4, earned a reputation for politeness behind bars, imagine a con artist saying please and thank you to the warden, and walked out in 1934 with a clean record and maybe a few pen pals among the inmates. He spent his last decade quietly in a New York hotel, drawing chess against himself. Legend has it he'd accuse himself of cheating, before succumbing to pneumonia in 1947. No dramatic shootout, no daring prison break, just one tiny germ doing what all the FBI couldn't. But let's zoom out for a sec. What makes Victor Lustig such a captivating character to be the topic of this video? First, there's his sheer audacity. Selling a national monument? It's like convincing people to bid on Mars real estate. Utterly ridiculous, and yet somebody actually bites. Second, his attention to detail. Forging stationery, staging private auctions, even memorizing government speeches so he could recite them on demand. He was less con man and more confidence architect. And third, the human psychology at play. People crave exclusivity, the secret society feel. Lustig exploited FOMO harder than any modern influencer. He whispered promises of massive profits in quiet drawing rooms, then watched the money roll in. It's the same blueprint behind every crypto rug pull and phony NFT project today. Tease the secret, dangle that VIP status, collect the cash, and vanish. Fast forward to the present, and we still see Lustig's legacy. Phishing emails that look like they're from your bank. Investment apps promising 50% monthly returns. Celebrity impersonators sliding into DMs. Same playbook, new uniforms. The only difference is we've swapped forged letterhead for deepfake videos. But whether it's paper or pixels, the con remains king. Speaking of getting caught, André Poisson eventually tracked Lustig's alias and got his money back. Proof that even fish can rise up when they sense something fishy. Moral of the story: if a deal sounds too good to be true, like someone offering free tuition for life, run. Run faster than a tourist chasing a runaway croissant cart. Every time you gaze at the Eiffel Tower today, unsold, untouchable, selfie-ready, remember, once upon a time, an audacious trickster nearly turned it into scrap metal. And that, my friends, is Parisian romance served Lustig style, with a twist of dark humor, a dash of audacity, and a generous sprinkle of, did that really just happen? That's it for Victor Lustig, the ultimate troll of the 20th century. If you enjoyed this tale of outrageous confidence, historical hijinks, and occasional dad jokes, smash that like button like André Poisson smashing his piggy bank, subscribe for more wild true crime capers, and ring that bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the world's most audacious tricksters. Until then, stay curious, stay skeptical, and always read the fine print, even if it's stamped with a fancy government seal. See you in the next one.